There's many people in the world that have talents and skills, and there's many people in the world that have passion. But Marty Dunn had an incredible ability to combine his talents, to combine his profession with an incredible passion to serve people around the world. It's one thing to run a medical mission or to run 2 medical missions. It's another thing to literally dedicate the better part of your life to serving others. Marty didn't just travel and show up in communities. He became a beloved member of communities all over the world. People today still remember him, still remember his goodwill, still remember his passion, and still remember his leadership to make a difference in the lives of people all over the world.
I am Dr. Martin Dunn. I am a graduate of the class of 1953 at BC High. I really owe everything to BC High. We now have the exchange program with 20 countries and a very successful program, which is the model for the entire world in Jesuit secondary education. I took what responded to a crisis earthquake and then into developing medical teams and to go to South America, and then going on to expanding that into going into having our students going to there.
Through our global education program at BC High, we're fortunate to send students all over the world and welcome students from all over the world. That is in great thanks to Marty Dunn. It's been his leadership, his vision, his passion that has allowed us to do what we're doing. Marty Dunn has led medical missions in communities all over the world. He's led doctors, he's led volunteers, he's led students, and he has done it with an incredible passion.
Ultimately, I ended up doing 60 medical missions, 56 to Ecuador, Bolivia, and Peru, and then 4 to the former Soviet Union. And as a result of that, I began to see what the benefit was of going global and helping other people. And again, my background at BC High was really what motivated me to do that. Because man for others, charism, in other words, you have a talent, and the people that you bring with you have a talent. And why not then go down and help?
One of the amazing parts of the work that Marty's done is he has tied it right back to his roots at BC High. He's impacted students at BC High. He's involved students at BC High. And they've had an incredibly significant role in his leadership around the world.
During the course of all of these medical missions, we saw thousands of patients. But the interesting thing about that whole thing, I'm back at BC High. I said, we need a youngster that's a student here who could pack all the trunks and be proficient in Spanish to serve as an interpreter. And so the first one, I went to the teacher at BC High and I said, we need someone proficient in Spanish. And it was a student by the name of Patrick Quirk. And Patrick then we had to get all the equipment, all the supplies. They didn't have any of this, medicines, everything. And that student, in this instance it was going to be Patrick Quirk, packed 166 trunks. And he had to know what was in every single trunk. So he did all of this for several weeks before we went. And then once there, not only did he help set up, but we also used him as an interpreter. The first time we went there, and the same thing happened when we went to Lithuania. The first day we were there, the word got out that we were coming to Ecuador at the time. And the first morning we went to the hospital. There were and we got there at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and there were hundreds of parents with children lined up outside and around the block. And on this day, we finished at about 11, and I went I forgot the book that I was keeping of all the patients that we had seen and what their problem was, because I would not be able to remember who was what as time went on. And so Patrick went down with me to get my book after he, having been interpreting all morning, knew what was in 166 trunks. He went down, and when I went in to get my book, there was a little girl, maybe about 10 years old, sitting all by herself in that room where we had seen all the patients. And no one else there, 11 at night. And she said, which Patrick interpreted for me, she said, "I knew you would be back." And she wanted to be the first one for the next day, and her parents had left her there. And that, I think, was perhaps one of the most moving experiences I ever had in any of these medical missions. Words alone cannot tell you, I cannot express what receiving this award means to me. Bill Kemeza, that time President Kemeza, said, "Okay, let's do it." We did it, and without him, that would not, none of this would have been possible. And so I am so grateful to be the first recipient of this global award for what we did.
As a trustee, Marty Dunn has done so much for BC High, but without a doubt, his legacy will be what he has done for us globally.